Today, longtime and very close aide to Governor Cuomo, Joseph Percoco, dodged most reporters by slipping into a side entrance to this federal court where jury selection began on the case charging him with receiving at least $315,000 in bribes to advance the interests of a hotly contested power plant being constructed in Orange County for a company called CPV.
Cuomo, Cuomo, you can't hide. We can see your greedy side. Cuomo, Cuomo, you can't hide. We can see your greedy side. Cuomo, corruption, climate destruction. Cuomo, corruption, climate destruction. Cuomo, corruption, climate destruction. Cuomo, corruption, climate destruction. Cuomo, corruption, climate destruction.
My name is Camilla Malik. I'm from Protect Orange County. We are an organization that has been fighting the power plant at the center of this corruption investigation and trial for years. For 6 years, we've been fighting this power plant. Well before any indictments were issued, we made it known to state officials that there was improper lobbying and undue backdoor influence underway with this project. And the reason we knew about it is because this plant kept getting approval after approval after approval, despite significant adverse impacts that we kept presenting to state officials and they kept ignoring. A couple of days ago, this power plant fired up for the first time. There was a plume that was visible from 20 miles away in the city of Newburgh. It engulfed the city of Middletown. None of these impacted residents had any say in the approval of this power plant. The residents of Orange County, the citizens of New York, categorically reject the approval that this power plant has received. And we call on Governor Cuomo to be a true climate leader and moral leader and shut this project down. Shut it down. The fact that construction was allowed to proceed even after the indictments were announced is really bewildering to us. Now, there's a couple of things that are really important to remember. The charges allege that Joseph Percoco received money from the company from 2012 all the way to 2015. During that 5-year span, there were many, many critical state approvals that were issued. And it's important to remember that one state official has already pleaded guilty to felony charges. So we know that this project is built on bribes and built on lies. Built on bribes and built on lies. Built on bribes, built on lies. Built on bribes and built on lies.
Built on bribes, built on lies. Built on bribes.
So if Governor Cuomo wants to have any credibility whatsoever, he must immediately halt construction of this power plant project.
That's right.
It is. Yeah. Now I want to remind everybody that the governor banned fracking in 2014, right?
That's right.
Okay. So why on earth did he approve a power plant that's entirely based on and will burn fracked gas?
That's not right.
This power plant will sustain 150 fracking wells per year. It will lock us into fracked gas dependency for the next 40 years. And it is being built to serve New York City. And New York City is the second largest consumer of power in the world. So this is going to precipitate a climate catastrophe. A climate leader cannot approve a power plant like this.
That's right.
That's right.
And what this tells us is that this is the real cause of our climate crises: corruption. Corruption is the cause of our climate crises.
Speak on it.
You know, methane and and CO2. They're just a bullet, but the gun is corruption. And so we need to clean up Albany because we need to have public policy that actually serves the public interest and not these billion-dollar pay-to-play corporations.
That's right.
And the housing crisis. Well, we're going to get into the housing crisis too. We have with us, we have several organizations. We have Communities for Change, New York Communities for Change. We have Food and Water Watch, and we have Sane Energy. These are a network of grassroots environmental groups, housing rights groups, and social justice groups and community organizations. We've all gathered together because we're all interconnected by this colossal failure of government. We need to clean up Albany. We need to clean up our environment. We need to clean up pollution. And so we need to start with this project here and now.
That's right.
That's right. That's right.
I'm going to ask somebody from New York Communities of Color to come and speak.
Okay. Alrighty. How you doing? Good morning, everyone.
Morning.
My name is Skip Rose, but I'm one of the leaders of New York Communities for Change, and I just want to speak quickly on what's happening here in the city. Since Governor Cuomo has been governor, big money has been in control of much of the ills that happen in the city. Under Cuomo's tutelage, the city, the homelessness in the city has gone up 41%. When we asked the governor a few years ago to help us save our hospitals in Brooklyn, he not only didn't help, he actually put people together to help dismantle our hospitals. Since he's been governor, our rents throughout our city have spiraled up and up and up to where people are being harassed, people are being forced out. As I mentioned, our homelessness is going up through the roof. And so when you are controlled by big money, all right, you are not looking out for the people. You're supposed to be the governor for the people of the state and New York City. All right. When you're controlled by big money, you let big money come in and help destroy our state and our city. So we're saying to the governor, you need to stop doing what you're doing. You need to give back this big money that you got to approve this power plant. The big money that you allowed the real estate lobby to build where they shouldn't be built, to allow rents to go up to where people are going to have to live on the outskirts of the city, on and on and on. So the basic thing is that this guy is bought by the real estate lobby and big money, and we need him to stop. We need to give the money back, and we need to be the governor of all the people of the state. Thank you.
Fight! Housing is the right! Fight! Housing is the right! Fight! Housing is the right! Fight! Housing is the right!
Woo-hoo!
Hey everyone, my name's Laura Schindel. I'm a New York organizer for Food and Water Watch.
Woo!
All right. CPV flies in the face of Governor Cuomo's own climate goals. It's estimated to increase New York's greenhouse gas emissions by excess of 10% if it goes online. That, in addition to the fact that it would poison the surrounded community, in and of itself, should be enough of a reason for Governor Cuomo to pull the permits for CPV.
Yes!
The permit should have never been issued in the first place.
That's right!
And so amid these allegations of bribery and dubious circumstances of which the permits were issued, it should behoove Governor Cuomo to revoke the permits and stand up against corruption in New York State. We need to send a clear message that fossil fuel companies cannot buy political favors in New York State and get away with it.
Yes!
That's right!
All right!
Stop CPV!
Stop CPV! Yeah! Stop CPV! Come on! Stop CPV!
I haven't been doing activism before I heard about the CPV plant going up. I thought that the governor had banned fracking in New York, and then I found out that 6 people in our area had felt strongly enough about this plant to be arrested trying to stop it. And I thought, what's going on? What do you mean we're getting frack gas from Pennsylvania to put this plant in our area? How did this happen? How is the governor behind this somehow? and issuing permits for this. And this happened about 2 years ago. I learned about the plant. I didn't even know it was going up before that. I lived 15 miles from this plant. And I'm worried about my health, the health of the children in the area, about our farms, the water. I'm worried about the holding tanks that hold ammonia and other substances that can explode. This is not necessary. There's a plan to put, we are going to replace Indian Point with the renewable energy, and renewable energy has to be the way of the future. When we heard about the bribery charges with Cuomo's top aide for cocoa, the group I've been involved in, Sustainable Warwick, it's a small community group in one town up there. We went around and 250 local businesses signed a letter to the governor saying, in light of the indictment of your top aide on corruption charges having to do with this plant, it is time to stop construction on it. Revoke the permits for this plant. 250 businesses, local businesses. I went around myself and talked to people who didn't know about this. It's not being covered enough in the media, so I'm glad you're all here. And I hope this is effective. I hope the governor is listening. I hope he actually starts being consistent and not ruled by money. Thank you.
Everybody seems to be under the influence of this very big, powerful company, but we are the people, and we're going to put a stop to it because, you know, you can't poison our children and think we're going to sit by silently and be sacrificed.
That's right.
That's right.
They can try to sacrifice us, but we are not going to be silent. And I want the New York City reporters to understand something about Orange County. Orange County is the area where they put this plant is a Class 2 protected agricultural district. It's one of the highest levels of agricultural protection that an area gets. It's the home of the famed Black Dirt region. It's the closest agricultural district to New York City, and a lot of the city's food comes from there. It's also home to a lot of 9/11 first responders who live there, who sacrifice their lives every day to serve New York City. Yet, because of this corruption, those families, those communities are being egregiously, ruthlessly sacrificed in service of big money fossil fuel interests. And so we have to say, this must stop. This must stop.
This must stop. This must stop. This must stop.
The alleged bribery money came from the power plant company. It came from the company itself. It wasn't Grace Kelly's personal money. It was the money that belonged to the company. And I think that speaks volumes about this company and its right to do business in the state of New York. I think a company that has gone to this level of extra legal measures should not be allowed to do business in the state of New York.
Yes.
And certainly not in a manner that sacrifices our health, safety, and the future of our children.
Thank you.
That's right.
Thank you.
Shut it down!
Shut it down! Shut it down! Shut it down! Shut it down! Shut it down! Shut it down! Shut it down! Shut it down! Shut it down! We'll be back! We'll be back! We'll be back!
Yeah.